Hey, welcome to Performance Reviews, where I give you the review from the technician's point of view. And what happens when you cross an HFT 265 and a EBK 280? Well, if you were just doing simple math, those numbers would go up. But if you're Wessel Werk of Germany, those numbers would go down and you would get an EBK 250. As I showed earlier, the EBK 250 is kind of a cross between both of these nozzles in that it has the large debris channel in between the brushes for a hard floor large debris pickup, but it's an electric motor powering it that's a DC motor. And I've actually opened this up. We'll go in the shop later and I'll show you what's inside of this. But it is very similar to the EBK 280. Now this one here is an EBK 280 DC, but they've made this head on so many different vacuum cleaners. I mean, anything from Simplicity Recar gray market import stuff to Bosch, Philips. Anyways, everybody has used this head. Even Miele, in some capacity, based their 217 off of this. Well, it was like a collaboration, actually, but you get the point. So let's talk a little bit more about what this is. Let me get out of the way right away my affiliation with Wessel Werk. Wessel Werk does not pay me to do any reviews or anything, but occasionally they send me free product, and they know that I like to show off Wessel Werk product as I'm kind of a fanboy. Now that being said, we're going to be pretty objective with this review as always. So, and I think that's where we're going to start. Let's go through like a little mini tour of what this thing is, what it comes with. So these holes allow air to come in what's called the Victorian Effect. And what that means is it's increasing airflow, but it's not actually losing suction pressure by doing that. That is really a cool benefit when you get to area rugs or soft carpet, is I can still push this on my soft carpet. It also means when we get to those rubber-backed area rugs, it's a little easier to deal with. Still not perfect, but it is easier to deal with. And you may have seen these on the 0G nozzle, as well as the Dyson fan / air purifiers do the same thing as far as the Victorian Effect goes. So that's kind of cool. Now, Wessel Werk does include a swivel neck with this. The angle is excellent. They have had many years perfecting the swivel neck on vacuum cleaners, and this one is no different. There is faux carbon fiber here. That's just plastic. That seems to be their thing. Now, for some reason, the lights on this are two-tone. They're bright white, and then there's blue on the edges. I did ask them about that. I think they just did that for basically for a photo op. They didn't really get back to me on why that was. But most of these are going to have entirely white lights. Most of these are going to have white lights. I was talking to Grant, who is the head honcho at MD Central Vacuums, and he said he got sent a prototype one that was all white, or a production type that had all white lights. That makes this one kind of special. Keep in mind when you're seeing this, it really is all white lights. And I think the real story is having that light, you're able to see what you're picking up, and it's instant gratification, as I'm showing here. The other cool thing about this nozzle is there's no carpet height adjustment mechanism, which means you can go from hard floor to high pile carpet instantly, and because of the brush roller design, you don't actually have to shut it off. That's really cool, and that's the reason this thing exists. Now, let me show you the bottom side of this. We have soft rubber wheels as always. Now, instead of a squeegee, what we have are these felt pads. That's an interesting design choice. The other thing that's really cool is under here, you see that little guy? That is so you can cut hair off the roller like so. Really kind of cool that they included that, and it just slides right in here. Now, the other party trick of this roller is the brush roller is interchangeable, like so. I get a close up here, you can see. You just give it a little bit of a turn, that just pulls out and inserts right back like so. And what's cooler even than that is this is They're a multi-purpose brush. This has fine bristles and a little bit coarser bristles for carpet. And it did groove my soft carpet really well for not being a full chevron. So, of course, Wessel Werk, we kind of expect that. They also gave me this soft brush roller. This just has 3 soft bristles on there. So you have a modular brush roller system that you can interchange if you line everything up. Anyways, that you can interchange really fast. You just be able to pull these out and put these in. That's very cool. I'm always doing it backwards. I did not use the all soft roller very much. I used the combo roller, and when I would go between my area rugs or my carpet, being able to just not have to switch it was nice. This seems to be good on hard floor. The gap is big enough between these that if something big does get lodged in there, it immediately is going to get dumped into the suction tube rather than take a couple spins around. As far as a testing platform, as a lot of you know, I take about a month or so of constant use before I publish a review. Even on a new product like this, I like to be pretty thorough. And they sent this to me in a central vacuum configuration with the rechargeable wand. And it's nice to use it on the end of the central vacuum, and being able to just switch between carpet and hard floor and not have to do anything is really, really nice. However, if you have a central vacuum, you're usually cleaning a little bit larger area, and this only being about 11-inch cleaning path was a little bit tedious for me, so I hope maybe they come out with a wider version in the future. The place where I think this would really shine would be on the end of a cordless vacuum, and I did test it as such. I tested it on the end of my Cordless Henry, which, fantastic. This thing is just awesome on the end of the Cordless Henry, because you can, again, go from hard floor right to carpet, and the Cordless Henry never came with a nozzle that had a spinning brush, so this is a really nice way of adding that. And just a real quick break to any of my viewers viewing this, if you want a Cordless Henry, there are a few left in stock in North America. I suggest that you buy one now. You're not going to be able to get them once those run out. They have discontinued the Cordless Henry in favor of the cordless handheld stick vac in North America. So keep that in mind. If you want a Cordless Henry, now is the time to get one. Those watching in the future, please disregard that message. I think this would really shine on a cordless vacuum or an underpowered vacuum as well. Particularly something like the loop cordless vacuum, this would be perfect for. Or let's say that you had a cordless vacuum that you just needed a head. This would be a great addition. However, I don't know how you would adapt it, since most cordless vacuums use their own proprietary fitting, and this uses a standard central vacuum fitting or an 1 1/4" fitting. But one can dream that maybe that they'll make this with a Dyson fitting or something like that one day. This would make the V11 or the V12 or 15, whatever the hell they're on now, this would make that shine compared to the nozzle design Dyson has right now. With all that being said, let's go in the shop and I'm going to show you what's inside this machine.
So I had a chance to do a complete breakdown on this. There's not much to it. There's not even a circuit board in the DC version. I imagine in the AC version there would be a circuit board there. It appears to be the same motor that they've used forever in the EBK250/217. The belt even looks identical. Now they do use a sleeve bearing in there, so that will require lubrication occasionally. Opening this thing was pretty straightforward. You just popped up the fascia and removed some screws. There were a couple clips, but nothing bad. So I have no complaints from a technician's point of view on that. The quality seems top-notch as well. Of course, Wessel Werk, I expect nothing but the best. I do hope they offer it in a version without the clear fascia. That really gets dirty pretty fast in my house especially, so I would like that just to be a solid color. That's just my personal preference.
Let's do a carpet pickup test. Now I've got breakfast cereal, flour, cat litter, and fresh pet hair. And you probably notice I sound a little different. We have the studio microphone going, so you're going to hear the real sound of this thing running. let's see how it did. All the breakfast cereal. Left a little bit of the flour unevenly, and I suspect, yep, okay. So I think we understand what's going on here when we look at the bottom of this. You can see where the belt drive is. It left the flour on this side, so it's not going to clean fine dust where the brush is not. That kind of makes sense. All right. No animal hair. Again, it didn't edge clean where the brush did not move over. So again, it needs this brush to edge clean. It's not going to edge clean and get stuff in there that doesn't require agitation. So if anything, that shows what requires agitation. So we saw what the central vacuum did, but I'm curious how this acts on different cleaners, particularly something like the Cordless Henry that wasn't designed to clean carpet. So let's see how it acts. Now this is kind of odd. I almost feel like just at first glance that Cordless Henry maybe did a slightly better job looking at these two. It's kind of odd. It might just be the perception and the angle of the light. So let's see what Cordless Henry did. Again, it left stuff on the sides here where that belt was. All right, well, it got everything that was in the cleaning path of the cleaner. I did notice when I was pushing forward off frame that I heard some cat litter kind of get kicked around, but it seemed to suck it up just fine. I mean, there's no cat litter in front here or anything. So I believe what has happened is the cat litter just took a few more rotations around the brush roller to pick it up. This is a kind of an unfair comparison here, but it shows just how good this nozzle is. The central vacuum has about 4 or 5 times the power of the Cordless Henry, but yet the cleaning results are about the same on carpet. So I think that's really kind of cool that this nozzle works well. We're going to do that same pickup test with breakfast cereal, flour, cat litter, and fresh pet hair. And we're going to use my Electrolux Olympia special just for fun. Now, as you can see, that got absolutely everything, including, interesting enough, the pet hair from the side got just sucked in randomly. Now, my reason for using the Electrolux Olympia is just to prove that this nozzle really makes anything clean well, no matter what you put on the end of it. So we've tried it with now a central vacuum mostly. I've used it with Cordless Henry, and just for fun now, I threw a 1980s Electrolux on the end. So I think that's kind of a testament to this nozzle and how well it cleans.
As far as low places get, the EBK250 gets really low. As you can see, you can almost fit 2 of these under my 3-inch bed frame. So if you're trying to get under something, no problem for the EBK250.
The bottom line is that the EBK250 really is great if you're transitioning a lot. If you have a house with a lot of different types of floor, this really shines. This would also really shine if you live someplace that's hot and humid, where the dirt tends to stick to the floor and you need that extra little bit of agitation. This would really shine there as well. And of course, no pun intended, that headlight definitely lets you see where you're cleaning. One little note about 2022 in terms of production. This is made in their Shanghai factory. And for those who don't know, Shanghai's been on lockdown for a few months. Hardcore lockdown, unimaginable. So they're not really full shipping these right now. My understanding is they brought a couple thousand to the country, but we're probably going to have to wait for China to open back up before we see more of these. And Wessel Werk usually makes stuff in Germany, but this product appears to be high quality even though it's made in China. And I will say, if you're unfamiliar with Shanghai, where it's made in. That is a special city. So, and the attention to detail and modernization of that place, I think, is kind of why they're able to make this over there and have it be of high quality. Their attention to detail over there is second to none. So that's just a note in terms of availability of this. If you're watching this years in the future, hopefully I have a link here to Amazon and you can just click below. So check the description box. Even if it's not there now, I will update it as soon as it becomes available for me to have a link online somewhere to this. Meanwhile, I'll just put Wessel Werk's website up as well in the description. So thanks for watching, folks. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. Tell me if you've had experience with the EBK250 yet, because it really is a different style of nozzle from Wessel Werk. And if you want to talk about vacuum cleaners in general, definitely go check out our Discord server. And I also want to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters that kind of help make this possible as well. Not only do we need to get this sort of stuff for review, but lights, camera cards, lenses, cameras, stuff doesn't grow on trees. So big thank you to our Patreon supporters for making that happen. And if you want to join Patreon, those are linked below in the description. You get early access and some exclusive videos as a Patreon supporter. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.